Now we're ready to start animating our dialogue. Animating dialogue might seem really intimidating at first because of all the lip sync you have to match up. But before we even worry about lip sync, let's back up a second. Something you don't want to forget is that one of the keys to good lip sync is getting everything else right first. You want the body language, the hand gestures, and the expressions to match the dialogue first. Those make a much bigger difference than the mouth shapes themselves. So before we worry about the mouth, we're going to get the rest of the acting right. And to do that, we need to use our audio track to map out where each sound is. Fortunately, with our sound file on the timeline, this is fairly easy. I can scrub through the timeline and hear where each sound is.
Oh no, my poor toesies.
I'm noting on my X sheet everywhere there's a new sound. Remember, when you're breaking down a line, think in terms of the sounds and not the letters that are used to spell the words. The units of sound that make up words are called phonemes. We'll look at those more in a minute. This is like what we did earlier with planning out our scene, just in much more specific detail. Now I have the sounds mapped out and noted on my X sheet, so I can start animating in sync to the audio. He's holding his foot, so he can't gesture a lot with his hands, but I'm going to make him rock back and forth, and I'm going to have him stick out his neck to accent some of those vowel sounds. And he ends on that last E sound, so I'm going to have him bring his head back and up to hold on that.
Oh no, my poor toesies. Oh no, my poor toesies. Oh no, my poor toesies. Oh no, my poor toesies.
There, that looks like he's synced up with the dialogue. He could definitely use a mouth, though. So let's deal with the lip sync itself. Different phonemes are produced by different mouth shapes. Fortunately, there really aren't that many. You only need about 9 different mouth shapes to cover all the phonemes. Here's a chart of how they match up. First, we have the vowel sounds. These are important ones to make clear since they tend to last a little longer and be accented a lot in speech. And then the consonant sounds get grouped into these other mouth shapes. You'll need to tailor each set of mouth shapes to your character. And you'll also have different ones for different emotional states. It depends on what the dialogue requires. Most animation programs will have a convenient way to let you store mouth positions and swap between them. In 3D, you create your mouth shapes using special facial controls that are part of the character rig. And you can also save these positions so you can reuse them later. So let's look at our orc. I've made a separate layer for our orc's mouth. I'll match this up with his head on each frame as we go. The drawings I made are saved as part of this layer, and I can switch between them when I'm on different frames. As you create different mouth shapes, remember that the bottom jaw goes up and down, but the top is fixed to the rest of the skull. Similarly, the top teeth are also fixed in place, and the lips just move around them to make them visible or not. Make sure they don't look like they're retracting and extending. Okay, I've got all my mouth shapes ready. So you might think now we just go through and put in the right mouth shapes for each of the phonemes in the line. But in most cases, that wouldn't end up looking right. We need to apply a principle of lip sync called phrasing. Phrasing is how speech breaks down visually into poses, or in this case, mouth positions. When we speak, we don't hit every single phoneme clearly. We smear them together as we move from the beginning of a word or phrase to the end. Keep your mouth positions restricted to only what's actually necessary. Try saying the line yourself and look at your mouth in a mirror. See what shapes you can actually see. Be sure you're saying it at the right speed. Don't slow down or the phrasing will be different. Let's go back and put the mouth on our orc. I'm matching up the mouth with the orc's head and swapping through my mouth shapes to find the right one. A really important thing to be aware of is that you want the visual, in this case the mouth shape, to precede the sound by a couple frames. It's the mouth shape that makes the sound, so it has to come first. I'm constantly scrubbing my timeline to listen to the sound as I go, keeping an eye out for any unnecessary mouth shapes. Having your mouth shapes pre-made like this makes the process actually go pretty quickly. I'm spending more time matching up the head than actually picking the mouths. Now I'm just going to clean up those temporary lines I had on that bottom layer. Let's see how that looks.
Oh no, my poor toesies. Oh no, my poor toesies. Oh no, my poor toesies.
Good. And for fun, let's look at the lip sync without the body movement.
Oh no, my poor toesies. Oh no, my poor toesies.
If you wanted, you can always go back at this point and do in-betweens for specific spots, or make special mouth shapes if you think you need them. I think this looks pretty good as is. With the body, I think there's plenty of movement already. So we have the character all animated, but our shot isn't complete yet. The last thing we need to animate is the camera. We'll do that in the next video. I'll see you there.